it's a sad thing that they don't teach basic philosophy 101 in college. It should be a prereq, because the first thing you encounter in philosophy is, are you a rationalist or an empiricist? Now, empiricists are not, it's not a tenable philosophical position, basically. You could just be a brain in a jar, right? And even that, I mean, you as an empiricist, and this is philosophically talking, not empirical, not like, well, you guys know what I'm talking about when I'm addressing philosophy. Rationalist is, you can kind of sum it up with cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. You can prove at least one thing, that you are here, by the fact of you thinking or observing. You can at least prove one thing, that you are real, whatever that means. And then it goes on from that. It goes on to, you go into the three philosophical proofs for God. And again, a philosophical proof is kind of like when they use the term theory in evolution, right? It's not, proofs and something being proven, two different things. And then, of course, you go through David Hume, John Stuart Mill, and you basically deal with their core philosophical arguments, right? It was this that actually drove my professor of philosophy, who was an atheist during the 60s, and he came from a very Christian family, and they said, look, if you go to college, we will bankroll you if you go to college and send you to any college you want. And he said, great, it's the late 60s, I'm going to go to Southern California. So he went there, and he majored in philosophy, and it was but I guess the catch was it had to be a Christian college. But they stopped the philosophical debates that he was holding in the auditorium between him and Protestant, because he actually had become a Catholic. This is what introduced me to the idea of difference between Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy. He was the one that introduced me to the early church fathers, like Polycarp and Ignatius of Antioch. This is many moons ago. I don't want to date myself, but it was just after those planes crashed into those towers in that city on the East Coast. But I still kind of wasn't convinced. I was still kind of Gnostic. But he was basically convincing this evangelical fundamentalist college. He was convincing many students to become Roman Catholics just through philosophical debate. So they put an end to that. And over the last 10-15 years, I've realized that it doesn't seem like anyone in college takes Philosophy 101 anymore. Or if they do, the teachers are kind of crappy because they don't start with the very first foundations of philosophy. Like, are you a rationalist or an empiricist? I'm a rationalist. The proofs for God, I only found one to be somewhat suitable, and that was the teleological argument. Although the cosmological argument was the one. And this is at a time when all of the atheist magazines, all the atheist writings were against the Big Bang, the idea of a finite universe that had a beginning, because that shows a prime mover. Now, it doesn't matter whether God is conscious or not of his existence, or whatever. Well, conscious, I should say, but design, that there was a first cause. And philosophically speaking, a first cause, an uncaused first cause, is a philosophical God. That's you've proven the at least mathematical God, or the God of physics. As for a deistic or theistic God, well, maybe a deistic one, but a theistic one, no, you don't. And it doesn't necessarily even show a deistic God. But this irritated atheists to no end, because of the papers and the books that I read by atheists. This really pissed them off, that the cosmological argument, and they argued vehemently against it until 2002, when the WMAP satellite